What if you took the setting of Lord of the Rings with the fantasy, all of that great stuff, combined it with a D&D light type of gameplay where you're exploring a dungeon, and then for fun, we added in these poker cards. Well, that is my new board game, and I'm going to tell you about it today. Let's see some stuff we haven't seen yet. I'm so excited. What's up, guys? I go by MTG Jedi on the internets, and I am thrilled that you are here on the channel today. I have taken time away from my main channel to come over here and start this channel for the board game. I'm very excited to share some things with you. Today, I want to talk about combining all of these things together and show you guys some more art from the game so that you can really get the nostalgic vibe that I'm going for. And please give me feedback. Let me know if this seems accurate to you. D&D, Lord of the Rings, and poker, let me know, okay? So the first thing that I want to talk about today is that Lord of the Rings vibe, okay? And with that Lord of the Rings vibe, the part that I was going for was the goblins. I wanted a sort of more light-hearted fantasy goblin thing going on, with the theme of the game being the Goblin King's Dungeon, because I don't find games really bringing to life goblins in a fun but cool way, and I've always had a special place in my heart for goblins. I think the main reason why I'm obsessed with goblins is really from Magic the Gathering. I started playing during Onslaught. Goblin Pile Driver was one of my favorite cards to play in the game, and I really enjoyed playing all of the goblins. And then ever since then, obviously in Magic the Gathering, goblins is a very common creature type, but you don't see it in other games. And in my game, I wanted that nostalgic feel of Magic the Gathering cards brought to life in a brand new way. So let me show you some of the cards that we're going to be getting in my game. I think it's funny too that in a previous video where I was showing like the process of making the cards, not only did I use magic cards, but literally one of the proxies was Goblin Bushwhackers. So like even in my subconscious, I'm like choosing cards as proxies that literally embody the feel that I was going for in the game. The first boss that I want to talk about today is the Goblin Twins. And actually, my son just came down while I was recording, and we were chatting about this specific card. I don't know if you guys know, but I have twins, and they're going to both be seniors in high school, both boys, Isaac and Elijah. And I kind of made this card for them because whenever I first started testing the game, this was actually the first card that I made. It's just a very simple boss mechanic. And we'll get into that in a future video. But like the flavor of them being twins, and then, you know, this very first boss card ended up making it through the cut all the way till the final layout of the game, which is super awesome. But you have like the ornery little goblins with like double daggers, the big ears, the red eyes, but also they're not like frightening, right? And they have stolen all of the loot from you, and they're coming after you. All right, right? And as you're fighting through the Goblin King's dungeon, this is one of the bosses that you're likely to encounter along the way. Let's take a look at some of the other bosses that you're going to fight as well. And you tell me, does this like really embody the whole like Lord of the Rings fantasy vibe that I'm claiming here in the title? Does this give you like a good nostalgic D&D feel? That's what I really want to know. Next up, we have the Goblin Pickpocket. And I will say, like, you know, detail this in a future video, but this Oh, that's my alarm. I need to wrap it up. No, we're taking our time here. We're talking about all the goblin bosses. Okay. This card has gone through the most iterations of almost any card because I couldn't quite get the rules right on it to where he's gonna be stealing your treasure in the easiest way. He is the loot thief, and he might be leaking his coins falling out the back of the bag, but he's still going to steal them from you first. So we have the goblin pickpocket there. And then we have two more. The third goblin boss that's going to be available in the base game at release is going to be the goblin horde. And I would say that this is kind of like the biggest boss. Is kind of the only way I can describe it. It's not the hardest boss, but it's like the biggest, like it's a little bit longer of a fight. It's meant to feel like we are fighting an army of goblins. And I will say, like, from an art perspective, this was one of the most iterations that we had. And, you know, if I'm being honest, I would still probably keep tweaking things. But there's just like, you have to set a stop limit. Eventually, it has to be good enough. It's never going to be literally perfect, but I love all the little details and variations in the Goblin Horde. It is one of my favorite artworks in the game, and hopefully it feels like a mob of angry goblins are coming after you. Before we move on to the final boss, which you should know, but I'm going to show you and talk about it anyway. Before we move on to that, what I just want to mention, like, the playthrough of this game can be as quick as 20 minutes. And when I say like D&D light, that's what I'm talking about. You know, there's going to be a variance on how long the games are, so like 20 to 40 minutes. If you get a quick playthrough, then you're going to be on the 20-minute side. If it takes a little bit longer to find the last boss, then it's going to be a little longer. And of course, you know, your first time learning the rules and everything, which are very simple, that it's just going to take a little bit longer on your first playthrough typically. But anyway, let's go on to the final boss, which you should know. You should know, right? Do you know? Do you know? The final boss is, of course, the Goblin King himself. Once you fight the Goblin King, the game is over. And so that is going to make each playthrough different every time. That's why you might hear me say roguelite or things like that terminology, because each of the playthroughs is going to be different. And man, I love this artwork. It is so special to me. As the final boss of the game, this is always going to stand out as the like one of the coolest cards that I've designed to me from start to finish. The border, the background, the name templating, the rules once we get to that, and of course the artwork. All of it is going to have a special place in my heart as the final boss of my first game. I'm excited to share this journey with you guys. Which one is your favorite goblin? Let me know in the comments below. And hopefully you're a new subscriber now and you want to hear more about the board game. Let me know what questions you have, and I'll probably cover them in a future video. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.